You don't want it to be non-volatile. You want it to be extremely volatile because that way you know something nobody else knows. All these people, they want to look at a time series of historic stuff. All I see is a bunch of statisticians analyzing people with chariots and bows and arrows fighting in wars 3,000 years ago, and we show up with explosives and aircraft. All the models, they don't really make any sense anymore. If you understand Bitcoin, you realize you got to throw them all away. When Godzilla walks onto the playground, all your models are worthless. They're all going to be destroyed.
You guys remember when GameStop broke the internet? Retail traders versus Wall Street. It was all fun and games until we saw the true power of the meme. But what if I told you we're about to see something much bigger? Like GameStop, but on a $1 trillion scale. Enter Microstrategy. Or as I like to call it, the ultimate meme coin. Except this one just so happens to be backed up by Bitcoin. Strap in and stay until the finish. Because today, we're going to show you how MicroStrategy is primed to pull off a squeeze that could make GameStop look like child's play. Welcome back, I'm Rustin, we are Simply Bitcoin, and I think it's time to send it! All right, yeah, we all know GameStop in 2021 was absolutely wild. A bunch of retail traders united to take on the hedge funds, and for a while, they won. We saw price action unlike anything seen before, and stocks trading like shitcoin casinos, stocks flying 49x net asset value. Now hold on to that, because we're going to apply that same compression theory to MicroStrategy, which just so happens to be sitting on more Bitcoin than almost any other company or country on the planet. But more on that in a minute. Let's check in on Bitcoin and MicroStrategy, shall we? I'm gonna go ahead and guess there's a lot of people that can relate to Fred Krueger's pain right here. First, they told me get ready for the halving, nothing. They said supply shock, nothing. Then they said it takes a few months, nothing. Then they said October. I would like my money back. When will this purgatory end? We know ETF approval halving, October, and yet Bitcoin's flopping on its back like a fish. I mean, at this point, I'm starting to wonder, am I going to have to wait until 2069 for Bitcoin to break a new all-time high? I'm going to be looking like this poor guy, the Crypt Keeper, but damn it, I'm going to be super stoked about it. Don't worry, guys. It's not going to take that long. And there are plenty of signs. Let's check into MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, you know, kind of flat, but what's going on with MicroStrategy? Even Peter Schiff's taking notice. Here goes Shifty Pete. What's going on with MicroStrategy? It spiked 18% over the past 3 days, with Bitcoin only up 1%. And I think this comment just pretty much sums it up perfectly. Only the most compelling corporate finance story of our time is going on right now at MicroStrategy. What is the MicroStrategy strategy? Well, just look at this. The results speak for themselves. Look at Bitcoin's return over the past 10 years. This is their treasury reserve asset. You wonder why they're beating everyone? Well, it's because they're saving in the hardest money ever created. Let's continue. All right, go ahead and look at this chart. You know how like IPOs come out or shit coins and they have that initial pump and then they die? It's kind of like that in stocks. Look at MicroStrategy, their initial pump back in 2000. And now, after adopting the Bitcoin strategy, we can see the green line for the first time in 24 years. MicroStrategy has its eyes on $200, but it's not going to stop there. One thing I love to see is MicroStrategy just absolutely destroying Coinbase, and Tour de Meester nails it. One is the fox who distracts himself with hundreds of strategies and shitcoins, and the other is the hedgehog who knows one big thing. That's why Coinbase sucks. They're shitcoin investing versus, investing in the thing. You're settling for second, third, fourth, fifth, 88th best and beyond. So yes, I think you're just going to have to come to grips now, Peter. MicroStrategy is the captain now. And why is that? They're not shoving shiny rocks up their prison wallets. And would you just look at that? MicroStrategy now ranked 260th largest US company by market cap. This is day 155 in a row of qualifying for the S&P 500. MicroStrategy is just like GameStop, except it actually is valuable because it holds greater than 1% of all the Bitcoin. A lot more people are going to be jumping in, and you want to do that before, well, the floodgate opens. Everyone is just getting smacked in the face with this MicroStrategy now. As Bitcoin has struggled, we've been in purgatory. They just hit a 6-month high, and maybe some believe this is a signal 70K Bitcoin may be near, but we're not here for moderately bullish or 70K Bitcoin. You gotta listen to where we are right now in this story. No one is bullish enough. The asymmetric upside of Bitcoin is, 94% of all the Bitcoin has been mined. There's 900 trillion in global wealth, roughly 2.3 million Bitcoin left on exchanges. Money printing and lower rates are coming just like from everywhere. Even Canada's joining the money printing fiesta now. And over like 55,000 Bitcoin have been taken off exchanges just this month. You need to pay attention. There is an extreme supply shock on its way. We've been telling you about this for a long time, and it's staring you in the face right now. You have to start asking yourself, right? Like, what happens to Bitcoin's price when that kicks in, and what will Bitcoin's price do to MicroStrategy's stock price? Because when we talk about the price running, I mean, you guys saw we got BlackRock out here talking about Bitcoin being adopted faster than the internet, and mobile phones sounding just like Michael Saylor is their quant. I want you to go ahead and look at this image. What we're about to behold, Carl Menger traveled into the future and took a picture of this image. This is 2030. People are standing around marveling at the Bitcoin God candle that took place in Q4 of 2024. We got a lot of analysts now too seeing that a Bitcoin massive breakout could be loading as we speak, with 100K Bitcoin on the horizon, possibly coming sooner than we expected. But regardless of when that comes, we need to check this out because, over the long term, we know what Bitcoin's price is going to do. And if we look at this chart put out by the Bitcoin therapist, here we go. So this is tracking MicroStrategy's stock price in relation to Bitcoin's price. And he used this multiplier effect. So if we track it, 100K Bitcoin, and say we hit that by the end of this year or early in Q1, 2025, we could be looking at nearly a $400 MicroStrategy price. So doubling from its near all-time highs that it was 24 years ago. And then we can go down. We could look at 150K Bitcoin price correlated over to MicroStrategy looking like $1,000 MicroStrategy. But on the very bullish end of the spectrum, go ahead and take a look at that. $500,000 Bitcoin could correlate to $15,000 $625 MicroStrategy stock. That is absolutely insane. Now, we were talking about this before. That is the moderately bullish outlook for MicroStrategy. Believe it or not, currently there are massive interest building in shorts against MicroStrategy. So could this be it? Could this be where MicroStrategy and Bitcoin go gamma? And if this happened and we apply what happened to GameStop to MicroStrategy and remember what's in their treasury, what happens you're not going to believe. But before we break it down, look at our likes.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Hey, help us keep the lights on by liking and subscribing this video, giving us a pap as we take a moment to recognize the masters of Bitcoin self-custody, our sponsors, the Bitcoin Way. Guys, being that we live in clown world, it's pretty easy to understand the why Bitcoin, but over at the Bitcoin Way, that's where you're going to learn how to Bitcoin. Check out their newly revamped website. If you're looking to become a master of Bitcoin self-custody, no one makes it easier. From setting up your first wallet node to inheritance planning to everything Bitcoin sovereignty, they got you covered. Hey, and if you're looking to get started, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation with the Bitcoin Way using that link in the show notes. Okay, big finish time. In 2021, MicroStrategy was trading at 4x its net assets. At that time, they owned around 91,000 Bitcoin, but you fast forward to today, they've almost doubled their Bitcoin holdings, and here's the kicker. Bitcoin hasn't even reached its peak yet. So you gotta imagine what happens when the price of Bitcoin hits 250K. And at that time, Saylor's holdings will exceed 200,000 Bitcoin. That's like $50 billion in assets at a minimum. And if we use the same compression multiple as GameStop, you could be looking at a $135,000 share price for MicroStrategy. Are you shitting me? MicroStrategy's stock float is tiny, and the more people hold onto their shares, the less there is to trade, just like with GameStop. And that leads to what we call forced buy-side volume. As the price of Bitcoin rises upwards, MicroStrategy's stock price gets compressed, pushing it to heights people can't even imagine right now. This could lead to unprecedented price discovery, just like GameStop, but 10x bigger, because this time it's Bitcoin fueling the rocket. Now, Michael Saylor isn't just betting on Bitcoin, he's using it as collateral. And the more Bitcoin climbs, the more credit he gets. And the more Bitcoin he buys, we call this, well, the type of things that lead to the Godzilla candle. There's no limit to how high Bitcoin can go when sellers dry up.
So you're buying?
Yeah, I'll be buying at the top forever.
Hey, with great power comes great risk, and if this play works, it could completely shake the financial system as we know it and lay a whole new blueprint for every company on the planet. So think about it. Short sellers will get destroyed, market liquidity will evaporate, and we could see cascading effects across real estate, banking, and even governments. Maybe this is why Saylor looks so serious all the time. He's not just playing for profits, he's playing for the future of money itself. So yeah, sorry Roaring Kitty and GameStop, Microstrategy is the ultimate meme coin. Except it's not a joke, unlike GameStop, this isn't just speculative trading, because Microstrategy holds over 1% of all the Bitcoin. That's real value. So their meme is backed by the hardest money in human history. And when Bitcoin moons, MicroStrategy is going to take off like nothing we've seen before. We're on the verge of something that could change the financial landscape forever. Are you ready for it? Because the question isn't if Bitcoin and MicroStrategy are going to go parabolic, it's just when. Also, good time to emphasize. Remember, not your keys, then it's probably Larry, Coinbase, or Sailor's cheese. So get your Bitcoin off exchanges before the mother of all supply squeezes shocks everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm Rustin. You just experienced Simply Bitcoin Originals, and there's a lot more where that came from. Hey, until next time, stay humble, stack sats, and we'll see you on the other side. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.